Hey everyone, I'm Jude Hotep, the goddess astrologer and alchemical initiatrix. This is the daily astrology for September 7th, 2022. Later this week, not later this week, in the next 2 days, I'll have a video up for the daily astrology about Mercury retrograde, and then I will have the sun sign horoscopes for all 12 signs for this amazing wild genius Pisces full moon that we're having. This is an incredible week of creativity. It's also a week of the past, and we are in the shadow of Mercury, so about to station retrograde, and so it is bringing up memories from the past, and a lot is happening. So on the Light Goddess podcast, you can get the sun sign horoscopes for the week there. The link is below. And then also I will do a full moon episode there with more of the full moon information there. And then we'll do the sun sign horoscopes for you here on YouTube. I'm going to pull some cards here in a minute. I'm going to go over the charts. And hey, I have like a cat who's very, stop that, very, very meowy. So, what's important is this Mercury will go retrograde on the 9th. This Mercury is wanting balance, wanting fairness. So it might mean more sleep. It might mean more checking in. Mars in retrograde shadow, it can mean scams. It can mean technology issues. It can mean um, a lot of like checking in with your Mars and how is your Mars in your chart? How are you doing with your Mars energy? And this is a great time to really understand, because Mars and Saturn tend to be the hardest planets to master. The planets, we're here to master our planets and our nodes. We are here to do them well. The moon in Aquarius today is meeting with Saturn, has come off meeting with Pluto, has come off meeting with the South Node. So there's been a lot of memories coming up. And with Mercury in shadow retrograde, a lot of old memories from the past. So memories coming up from our subconscious, memories, subconscious feelings. So you may be having dreams with a lot of subconscious feelings in there that relate to past issues, things you've gotten over, gotten through, and maybe new pockets of them are coming up. And it's a time to really be compassionate with yourself, with all this Virgo energy and Venus now in Virgo. Venus wants to organize, and she wants to feel grounded. She wants to feel like she has it together. And also the sun in Virgo, this could be a time of too much self-consciousness, too much self admonition, and putting yourself down. So definitely bring in extra compassion right now. That's what's really important. Bring in more rest and time to allow yourself to organize and ground so that your creative projects can have more launch pad right now. That's what's going to be the most helpful. I'm going to go into greater detail into the aspects that we're exploring here in the videos to come, because we have this trine from the moon today to Mercury, and it's very, it's about this energy of mental energy, cerebral energy. There's just a lot of mental energy. So it is about slowing down, quieting down, going inside and looking through everything. Because when we, haste makes waste. When we hurry, when we rush, we lose things. We do things too soon. We don't think about what we know to be true. We don't listen to our intuition that is telling us things right there. And instead we're taking action based on what our mind is saying and based on all the buzzy mental stimulated high energy that is. We want to slow down to hear what our intuition is requesting from us, and which is a better path that's going to lead to the outcomes that we really want. So this is the prescription for today, to listen to your intuition and to let that come through, to really allow yourself to slow down, that there's nothing wrong with that is where you're going to have the more grounded, organized place to take really powerful actions, inspired actions that are going to lead to the results that you really want in your life. Get back to the elemental. I mean, this card says it all. It's just like, what are the basics? What are the most important things right now? Are you nourished? Do you have enough sleep? Are you well rested and well played? Have you had enough play and stimulation and novelty? And then feel organized. All this Virgo energy and this mutable, changeable energy. There's a lot of change in the chart. There is a lot of um, most planets are retrograde in the sky. There is a lot of mutable energy. So it's about a time to adapt as things are happening, to learn how to adapt and be adaptable. It is a time to adjust to change as it happens, and it will help us to be less fixed in our life in the areas and pockets that we are too fixed in. And this will help us to really create a solid foundation from which to do the deeper creative work that takes a clean palette. If all the paints are on the palette and they're all mixed together and there's all the crud, it's hard to just do a beautiful painting because you're really working from a foundation that is not helping you. It's limiting you, it's blocking you. So we want to get the blocks and the limitations out of the way that are the obvious ones. The now moment, all this mental buzzy energy, it's asking us to be in the present moment, ground down into our heart space, into our body, and into this moment now and what's called for right here, right now, and get out of the future, get out of the past. Do that emotional release if that's needed. Do that writing, self-coaching work as it's needed to clear scarcity, to clear the emotions of unfair, to clear the emotions of stupid or dumb, to clear the emotions of regret and guilt, but also do the dream, about the future. That's this Pisces full moon coming. Dream, visualize, but put it in a container and see if you're living there at every moment or if you're doing it consciously. This Mars Gemini is asking us to expand our consciousness, our awareness, moment to moment, and be in the present moment. Integrate your knowing. So I love this card because it's like you have learned so much in the last 2-3 years. We have grown as humanity so powerfully. We have grown. What can you do to keep your vibration really solid, really at that high frequency level, and to keep raising your vibration, keep raising your frequency, and integrate what you've learned, integrate that intuition into taking action on the intuition, intuitive guided action instead of mental guided action. And that's what I was just talking about earlier. Welcome the divine masculine. So this has come up quite a bit. So it's like your divine masculine within you. How does that come out? And is the masculine that is within you, is it in the divine expression or is it in the wounded toxic expression? A lot of women have the masculine inside in that toxic expression and they're not connected to their divine feminine. They don't know that it's allowed. They don't feel like they'll be safe if they work with that masculine energy to express it in a healthy way and to protect them, to guide them. Your masculine is here to protect you, to hold you, like the banks of a river hold the river. Your masculine energy is there to hold all your creative projects flowing through and to have the structures in place for that creative energy. We have the earth energy, which is this grounded energy. And this has been coming up too, this grounded energy. It is a time to really get grounded. There's so much changeable, mutable mental energy in the sky right now. And so we have to do the opposite to help us handle the excess of that energy, which is to ground, to be in nature, to really be with plants and tree energy and flower energy and animal medicine, and to commune with that, to ground our feet in the grass, to soak up these days of this weather and that we have as the seasons are going to shift, and to swim and dance, be in your body. So it's like really being in your body. All this mental energy pulls us up out of it into the skies. You want to be down in your body. And how much time do you spend there? Are you able to really feel your body at the most subtlest levels? really hearing when you're hungry, really hearing when your body is requesting its needs, which it doesn't do to bother you. It does it because that's what is fueling your ability to create everything you want to create. So when you're not listening to it, then you're not showing up 100%. You're not showing up at the highest exalted expression of yourself. Cozy up with risk. So risk is really just actually being outside of your comfort zone, being in discomfort. So it feels like risk. Risk usually entails that you feel a fear. And so look at your fears and see if you can just do exposure therapy on them, really face them, look at them, go into them instead of having them in the back of your mind. Risk is about taking the action and doing the thing to get information. I took a risk on staying somewhere, and it was not what I wanted. So, I lost that money and I don't care. I don't care. Because I would rather not do what I want to do. Like I knew that there'd be no parking, and I just didn't want to deal with it, but I took a risk because it was the only option. And I was like, well, we'll see. Maybe there's something that is an answer. No, it wasn't the answer I wanted. So I made some maneuvers and found the better answer. And I had to take the risk to see. So it's okay if we take conscious risk. There's better examples than that, definitely. um, a lot of times it's our risk of stepping up into the next level of our visibility in our business. And the risk is usually, oh, somebody will think something about you, or a fear that you'll look some sort of way. So it's usually about hierarchical value systems. And it's really questioning, am I living by hierarchical value systems? Am I living by what other people will think of me, or what supposedly you're not supposed to do? Really understand that from an evolutionary point of view, you're always learning. You're learning. And if you look at life as I'm always learning and growing and expanding, then there's not really any mistakes. There's just growth. There's just learning. And a baby doesn't grow to walk and feel stupid when it can't walk. It's like that's just what it has to do. So before you know something, you have to do it. And a lot of times we don't get good data until we actually do the thing, because experientially we need the experiential data. Ambush fear with ferocious dreams. Love this card. So it's like really let your dreams lead you and guide you instead of your fears. We want to get out of that amygdala brain response, that fight or flight, freeze or appease response. Notice when it's happening and really face your fears. Go into them. Ask, like, look, dissect it and look at it. Most of the fears I have, I either do the thing immediately and it completely dispels the fear. So it's like I'm just doing it. For some reason, earlier this year, I was afraid to, like in April, I was afraid to make a trip from one side of the country to the other, for just different various things were coming up that I was afraid of. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go do it. So then I went and did it, and I dispelled the fear, and I'm like, oh, these things aren't even an issue. And if they do come up, I'll deal with them. I'm perfectly capable of dealing with them, and nothing's really a big deal, and this is great. So it's like that you have to dispel the fear. Other fears, I have to sit there, write pen to paper. It's like, okay, if this does happen, then what? Because it's not a fear that you can actually take the action on. It's a fear that is just in your mind. So then I write it down, like, okay, if this happens, then what? If this happens, then what? And show yourself you're capable of handling challenge as it occurs. When we have this anticipatory way we deal with life, we're not actually living life. We're just living in a complete limbo, constantly in this reaction to life, in this fear of life. We're not living life. We want to get out of that. It's really socialized in the culture. Overrate your intuition. This is so prescient for this reading. This is what we've been talking about, that mental buzzy energy makes us override our intuition and not really be connected to our body and ourselves and grounding. We need to ground. We need to be embodied. We need to hear what our intuition is calling us forward into, which means slowing down, which is the exact opposite of what this energy wants to do right now. But is it taking you into consciousness or out of consciousness? That's the question. choose who you are becoming. I love this card. It's like you get to create your life. You get to create who you are instead of just responding to life all the time, just reacting to life all the time. Create who you be, who you want to be in this world, and what is important, the life that you want to live. Create that life now. It's what I talk about a lot on the podcast, is running a business from your intuition. And I talk a lot about living your dream right now. In Alchemical Goddess, my coaching program, that's what we work on, truly. Like, are your priorities aligned with your dreams? Often, most of the time, most people's are not. And it's really beautiful work to look at that. And it's very surprising to a lot of people. So you can book a complimentary goddess call at thegoddessastrologer.com to apply for Alchemical Goddess. There are limited spots open. Also, if you'd like to book an astrology reading, you can do that there as well. And if you get value out of these videos, please subscribe, please like, and share them with your friends, share them with other people that you know. Really appreciate it. Sending you lots of love, and I'll talk to you on the amazing videos coming up.